Hello everyone, I'd like to show you how to make Loobia Polo or green beans rice. This is one of my favorite dishes. Go ahead and julienne about a cup of onions and saute them with some oil until golden brown. Then add in 500 grams of chopped green beans and saute those with the onions. In the middle of your pan, go ahead and add a small can of tomato paste, add a little bit of water in the middle, and let it cook with some salt, pepper, and turmeric. If you'd like to add a little bit of spice, you can add in some cayenne pepper and paprika. You can let that cook for a bit, lower the heat, continue on cooking, and you can add in your vegetables with your tomato paste. I'm really bad at prepping for food, so I had to add in my meat frozen to the vegetables. It's about 500 grams of ground beef, and that way it will thaw out and cook at the same time. In the meantime, grab your pot that you want for rice, fill it up with water halfway, and add lots and lots of salt to it. I'm adding crystal sea salt, and go ahead and put the lid back on. Stir in your vegetables in the meantime and add in any salt, pepper, other seasonings that you would like until the water comes to a boil. Remove the lid and grab your rice that's been soaked in water for about an hour. Here I have 2 cups of basmati rice that I washed and cleaned prior to soaking. Go ahead and put the lid back on and lower the temperature to medium and watch it carefully because at this point, as the water boils, it can overflow. Once the rice is cooked about halfway through, when it's a little bit soft but not all the way soft, go ahead and strain the rice out of the pot. If you have a big enough colander, you can put it over your sink and just dump out the whole pot of rice and water in there and rinse it with cold water. Then I went ahead and put the pan back on the heat until it was completely dry. Add a good amount of oil in there. You can use vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever oil you'd like, and let the oil heat up and remove it from the heat and go ahead and add in your potatoes at the bottom of the pan. I have sliced the potatoes about 1/4 of an inch. And you want to place them at the bottom of the pan and make sure the oil is hot enough that they're not going to stick to the pan. If you are using a non-stick pan, you don't really have to worry too much about it, but I do recommend on waiting until the oil is hot before you put the potatoes in. Wiggle the potatoes and move them around a little bit in the oil to make sure that they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. So what you're doing is you are moving the oil about so that it covers the bottom of the potatoes. Once the potatoes have covered the bottom of the pan, go ahead and put it back on the heat and add in about a little bit over 1/3 of your rice into the pan until it's covering the potatoes and are not sticking to the sides of the pan. When you have an even layer of the rice, lower the temperature to low. And at this point, you can go ahead and add in your meat and vegetables to the rice. I usually use about a little bit more than half of my mixture of meat and vegetables to that bottom layer of the rice. Once you added your meat and vegetables at the bottom layer, go ahead and fluff the rest of the rice a little bit to make sure that the grains are not sticking to each other. And you can continue on by adding another 1/3 of the rice to the mixture. And after that, smooth it out a little bit, put in the rest of the meat and the vegetables, and finish with the final layer of rice. Once the last layer of the rice is put in the pan, with your spatula, remove all of the rice and the meat and vegetable mixture away from the sides of the pan by shaping the rice into a dome. As you can see, the tip of my spatula is a little bit thick, so I switched to my meat spatula with a thinner end. And you want to go ahead and poke holes into the rice and meat mixture and go all the way down until you reach the potatoes at the bottom of the pan. But be gentle so that you don't disturb the potatoes at the bottom of the pan. The holes would allow the steam to rise up so that the rice can cook evenly. Place the lid of your pot in a clean kitchen towel and bring in all four corners of the towel to the top of your lid. Place the lid back on the pot and make sure that it's fitted tightly. Make sure your temperature is on low and cook for about 30 to 45 minutes until the rice is fully cooked. Every 10 or 15 minutes, you can rotate your pot a little bit to make sure that the tahdig at the bottom of the pan, the potatoes are cooked evenly. If after 20-25 minutes you check the rice and feel that the rice is still too moist and there's too much steam coming out, you can actually remove the lid and allow it to cook a little bit longer without the lid on. With your spatula, you can check the bottom of the pan to make sure your tahdig is also cooked and ready to come out. Once the rice is cooked and tahdig is ready, with your spatula, I usually use a wooden or silicone one, lightly fluff the rice and mix your meat and vegetables with the rice. Be gentle as you don't want the rice grains to break. You can remove the rice from the pot completely and with a flat spatula, take the tahdig out of the bottom of the pan. I hope you make this dish and enjoy it. Thanks for watching.